Hi there. So I'll be talking about the importance of gardening. Or another way to say this is the importance of self-sufficient plant-based lifestyle. But before I go on, this is no quick video. I'll be taking my time to talk about these topics. I know generally you might want a quick response, but sometimes in life you have to slow down. So I'm hoping that you're listening to this recording at a time where there's no disturbance and also you have some time for yourself. Indeed, each one of us face certain situation, and right now I'm not following any scripts to give you a very clear response and more organized situation, but I'll be taking my time to talk about this topic. So before I go on, kindly excuse the noise in the background, the birds that are there. I hope that they're not disturbing to you. And also I must express my apologies that again I'm not getting the time to follow script, follow that system of organization that I always plan to do. Great, thank you so much. Yeah, so when it comes to gardening, or more specifically self-sufficient plant-based lifestyle, it has many implications for a family. First and foremost, a plant-based lifestyle or a plant-based diet is the only diet that really supports us, who we are as people. That's the number one thing. So as families, we are human beings and we must act humanely to each other in a family. Talk in a certain way, present ourselves properly, trying to do things on time, etc. These are all humane conduct. So plant-based lifestyle, to be engaged in gardening, it supports interaction in families, generally speaking. And that's number one. The second thing that it does is that it supports cooperation. Generally, in families, we find ourselves being dependent on external products. And as a result, the family generally does not cooperate on things that are really important, like food. So there's a saying, slow water runs deep, meaning that if you want a fast life using processed foods and so on, then the family will not get the opportunity to cooperate. And of course, we know that cooperation builds or creates a lot of bonding in families. So that's the second reason for gardening, for that bonding, for that cooperation to exist within families. And as I said, slow water runs deep. When the water is moving very slowly, it will tend to run to sink very deep, as compared to if the water is flowing very fast, it will tend to just skim off the surface. So when we can take our time and cooperate for important things, then that's going to build a lot of cooperation. And of course, in families, we see families are splitting apart because people do not know how to cooperate, how to talk to each other. And as such, cooperation is the next importance of gardening, or as you can say, a plant-based diet. But I will be using gardening as much as possible because we are more familiar with that. The third reason for a plant-based diet is the quality of food that we eat. Generally, organic foods, plant-based foods, they are free of violence. In other words, we will not be intaking violence into our life. Remember, when animals are slaughtered, there's a lot of violence there. Practically on their level, it is murder. From the point of view as human beings, we use words like slaughter or kill. But from their point of view, from the perspective of the victims, the animals, that is murder. That is the highest level of injustice. So a plant-based diet, or when you do gardening, it helps us to stay away from violence in our diet, and that is very, very important. Sometimes people ask me, which is more dangerous? Is it alcohol drinking or killing animals? And they might reason that, when people drink alcohol, they tend to be very violent. But I can answer that question by restructuring the question for a rhetorical manner. that is, how can we compare drinking alcohol to the slaughtering of innocent animals who want to live just like we do and eating them? We cannot make that comparison. Okay, so that's the third importance of growing your own food, of a plant-based diet. Okay, and that is to have the best, make sure that your nutritional and medicinal needs are covered in a very satisfying, non-violent, and wonderful manner. So that is the third one there. The fourth importance of a plant-based diet, again I'm using different terminologies, I'm saying gardening and now I'm saying plant-based diet, which is better actually, is because it keeps us healthy. Alright, in the morning when you have a garden, this is how it's supposed to be, that the entire family cooperate, rise early and cooperate to make sure that the garden is well kept, is well organized, is beautiful, is well presented. Also, you try to make sure that as much land space as possible is used for gardening. In this age and time, there's a lot of pride. People cover up their land with all kinds of shed and they put hammocks to rock under. And that is, of course, culture-wise, that is very normal for many countries. One time I met a lady, and she was telling me that in her country, having hammock is not popular. And I can see the importance of relaxing too much. It's not good for your health. Relaxing too much is not good for your health. And of course, there's so many, because of consumerism, there is so many products that promotes unnecessarily wanting to relax. Yes, relaxation is important, but it should not intervene with an active, a healthy lifestyle. So, what am I talking about? There's recliners, there is sofas, there is hammocks, there's all kinds of products. What else am I missing? I'm missing a couple that I was thinking about earlier. But there's so many products that are there to help to maintain this sense of throwing back, of relaxing most of the time. Right? Relaxing is important, as I said, but it should not be overdone. Okay? So we need an active lifestyle, not a lifestyle where this kind of situation for bad health occurs. So when you rise early in the morning as a family, everybody start to do wonderful things in the yard. Right away, things are beneficially done, and of course, I talked about cooperation earlier, right? Yeah, this is actually cooperation. Yeah, that you cooperate and make sure that the basic things are covered, which is food. As I said, food is your nutrition and as well as your medicine. If you cannot take care of food properly, then in due course of time you might have to go to the pharmacy to have some curative measure. So a garden keeps us active. It helps with cooperation. Alright, the next reason is that gardening helps us to think in a very progressive manner. Now, definitely in this world we like to listen to what society is telling us. And right now society generally is a very consumerist society, a society where they want you to depend on them. Okay, so that's a society that we're living in. So people, yes, sometimes I have to take a little pause to remind myself of what is it that I'm talking about. So yes, it helps you with your thinking, because when you do things early in the morning, research have shown that these are important practices that stimulates our thinking, doing activities early in the morning. So gardening provides that opportunity to get meaningful activities done. Some men will want to do some exercising, like lift weights in the morning or run on the road. But I'm telling you, a good bit of gardening is directly beneficial for yourself and your family, and also through the means of having food, as well as taking care of your body as well as your thoughts that you deal with when the day comes. So you become a better thinker. You think about life more meaningfully. You're more contemplative. You don't talk too fast or talk things that are superficial or irresolute. You don't entertain all kinds of topics. When people tell you stuff, you try to connect that to being humane. You don't listen to all kinds of things and repeat all kinds of things. Everything must make sense. Everything must connect to survival, to a self-sufficient survival, a more peaceful survival, a survival where you have your material necessities covered, especially food. Food is number one. So that's the next reason for a plant-based diet. That is, it helps you with your thinking. Okay? Alright, at this point in time, I'm not really counting the reasons, so as they come across my mind, I am sharing them. Actually, before I go on to the next one, I must say that regarding thinking again also, there's so many topics that families should be discussing, and when there's at the dinner table, people will actually find themselves, families will actually find themselves talking very meaningful topics. Topics that, number one, encourages you to take charge of your food. In other words, topics that supports growing your own food, growing your own plants. So that is the number one topic, because as I said, plants are your food is your nutrition as well as your medicine, and plant-based foods take care of that without any doubt. There's no side effects of eating plant-based foods. Okay, as compared to meat-based, where there's so much of situation of heart attacks, strokes, and of course it affects your mentality and so on. So your thinking, as I was talking about, the family have meaningful things to talk about. And guess what? Yes, we talk about other people and we listen to what other people are saying, but because we are focusing on the basic things, and these basic things will take care of a lot of other things. Because so instead of talking about this person is not treating you well at the hospital, or this person is not conducting his or herself properly and treating others properly, also you can talk about this place doesn't have quality food, this supermarket doesn't have quality food, or sugar is bad for you, or this somebody selling things with too much of sugar in it, or this quality food is being sold. So all kinds of food topics is being knocked off because you are taking care of food. You're taking care of the main thing, and by taking care of the main thing, the family have something wonderful to converse about, and that is going to be beneficial. Okay, so that's the next reason, that thinking about how it benefits the mind. It benefits the mind because we tend to think about, the family tend to think about things that are very meaningful and fulfilling. Okay, so I hope you're understanding so far, and definitely, as I said, I will be. I'm not following any script at the moment. This is not a rush through. I'm just going to take my time and present to the best of my ability this kind of understanding as to why plant-based diets for families are very, very important. Okay, so in the future, of course, you can make little jottings in your books as I'm talking about these things, because our mind will fail us, but these jottings will really help us a lot. I know, of course, many families too don't have time for this kind of thing. They might take a drink instead of talking about things that are meaningful, such as I said, the main thing, a plant-based diet. They will find time to drink or to hang out, and that is very sad because they have loved ones to take care of and they're dodging. Right? So, in fact, the next benefit of a plant-based diet is responsibility. Okay, let me tell you why. In fact, I will think I should take a pause here. It's going on to 15 minutes, and then I will talk about how does a plant-based diet help us being responsible men and women in society. Thank you so much.